Hello, my name's Hippie, and I'm the world number one Warno player. I know it says 12 here, that's just a misprint. It's because I'm both the world number one and the world number two, and they put it together, and now it says 12, so their mistake. This is a pro level guide to 4th UK. So, like the other pro level guides you can find on this channel, for the divisions, we'll go through the deck in extensive detail, and then I will provide to you a large volume of examples for you to peruse. And from that, you will then know how to play the division. These guides aren't for everybody. They do take a very long time because I have to play the division at least 10 times and then, of course, record everything. So if you do appreciate the video, I would appreciate a like and a comment and a subscribe, etc. And of course, the channel members get it early, but I'll shill more about that later. So, what's 4th UK? What's it all about? What's it all for? Essentially, 4th UK is kind of a bad version of 1st UK, with a couple notable exceptions. So, I do also have a guide for 1st UK, but 4th UK does not get the heaviest tanks. It gets chieftains, which still remain very cost inefficient for the price. They did come down by 10 points and they're still cost inefficient, mainly due to their extremely subpar anti-infantry capacity. But the idea behind this division is you don't have any forward deployment, you don't have any heavy tanks, you've just got a metric ton of mediums and a huge quantity of infantry, and you just trade people out on pure cost efficiency. So you get there second with your lack of forward deployment, although there is a funny moment here with the scouts, and you'll see that in a lot of games. You can actually really surprise people, really knock them off kilter, and mess them up, and then they flame you and call you lucky when you beat them. Yeah, generally you get there second, and the idea is you pick a lane and you just have an attritional battle on that lane. You can send a couple things around the side if you want, in the Strikers and the Saxons and so on, but generally you want to set up on a lane, get your Darkfire set up, and just have an attritional battle. Over time, you should outtrade your enemy because of just the volume of stuff you've got. It is one of the harder divisions to play, like really one of the harder divisions to play, and it is one of the weakest divisions in the game. I'd say it's in the bottom 10 out of 55. So let's go through it tab by tab. But yeah, that's the general principle. Arrive second and grind people down through attritional warfare. But there is a funny strat where you can just open with a bunch of helos, do a helo rush with the Jaguar rockets, really knock people off balance. And it works. It works a lot of the time, but against enemy forward deployed AA, it's not going to work. And in the week after this guide goes public, it won't work because everybody's going to watch this who plays Warno regularly, and then they are going to know all about it. So that's just something to keep in mind. So first things first, only 2 cards of supply. You might think, hang on, aren't you running a super attritional division, etc., etc.? Shouldn't you have 3 cards? Yeah, but I don't actually have that much infantry. Sorry, I don't have that much artillery. And the tanks do a lot of dying. If you make sure to keep the fuel switched off, right, on both of these, then you should survive a 40-minute game with 2 cards of supply. Just use it to heal up units and resupply your arty. You'll notice I don't actually have that much arty. Some people like to bring 2 of these. This is not amazing for the price. The advantage of this is, you get the 1 extra AP, so that's 4 hell arms. So yeah, you can have 2 of these, but it will cost you 4 hell arms, which I don't think is worth it, really. And you lose a lot of momentum by buying these. The idea is you set up on your lane and you just start attacking them. You just start attacking them constantly until the game ends on this lane. And you can send stuff around the sides and be silly. But if you buy 2 of these, right, 1 isn't really enough to accomplish much of anything. So you need to bring 2, right, which means you need to lose the hell arms, and the hell arms are super useful for flanking and defending and attritting and so on. And then you basically lose 2 minutes income by buying these, and instead you could have got 3 of these and 1 of these, right? You could have got almost 4 of these instead of 2 of these. So generally you want to go easy on the arty. So 2 cards of supply. In terms of CVs, we've got the Sultan because it's 3 per card. This is 10 points less, but it's only 2 per card. So the Sultan's in a very nice sweet spot there. And the Saxon's only 2 per card. And then we've got 4 more CVs in the tank tab. But the idea is you're not trying to do funny plays with CVs. You are going to get there second. You're not trying to just sneak into a zone with a CV as much as possible. You don't want to do that. You want to just attrit, and eventually win and just move the CV in normally, right? Infantry. So basically, everything. I might as well talk about this first, right? There's something called the FV432 SCAT, and it's like the FV432 except with 2 machine guns. Wow, incredible! It's bad, or at least it's not worth it. So it's the same price, and like, what is its advantage? Its advantage is that the salvo length goes from 5 to 8 because it has 2 machine guns, and that's about it really. So it does something like 33% more damage. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's much better to just bring the trucks. And, you know, I've played this div a lot. You'll notice on First Armoured, I actually bring the regular FV432s. That's because it really helps with the armoured warfare. But here, your you know, whatever APC, the good one is the Saxon, because it's wheeled. It goes mega fast, and it's wheeled, right? This scat thing is a massive waste of time, and you're better off just buying Bedfords on everything that doesn't have the Saxon, in which case bring the Saxon. The Saxon is very cool. And yeah, just getting into position, selling the trucks, and that will allow you to buy more and more tanks and more infantry. So, you know, I did start off by bringing the scats because, oh, it's unique to this division, etc. It's just not worth it. Don't do it. So, rifles, sometimes you just need a lore 80. That's what these are for. Sometimes you just need a lore 80. But generally, your bread and butter are the motorized rifles, which sadly you only get 2 cards of. But this is one of the better infantries in the game for the price. They're like Strelcy or Strelky, except Strelky are better because they have 18 pen on their rocket launcher, and they come in a better transport. But Mott rifles are pretty nice. In terms of like British line infantry, they're the best one, right? Because if you compare it to something like Airmobile, 60 points for 9 guys, right, because of the lore 80, whereas Mott rifles, 50 points for 9 guys is really nice. And like I said, they're not as good as Strelcy, which are just ridiculous, really. I mean, if you want to win games, play 31st Armoured. Like I said, 4th Armoured is just bad. But you can still win with it, you can still do funny things with it. So yeah, 2 cards of Mott rifles, and these are your bread and butter. The Terriers can be nice as just like meat for the machine, so they go first because it's 8 guys for 40 points, whereas this is 8 guys for 45 points. They're really not that great because they're locked at Vet 0, but they come in as Saxon, which is cool, and you can do things like you can send this round the side to snipe transports and stuff, because this goes at 190 off-road, which means it goes super fast in forests. Goes at like 60 in forests or something like that. I can't remember if it's 2/3 or 3/4 the speed. And you know, you've got 4 laws and you kill summer, and it's only 40 points. Generally, I find myself not buying these a lot. You know, this is just if you kind of run out of everything else. And it is nice to mix, just have one in at the front because he gets shot, right? And he's a bit more cost effective than this at getting shot. Then you bring 2 cards of ATGMs in the ATGM transports and a card of medium machine guns. And that's the current meta, and this can do that. So it is very strong. Each of these comes in a ATGM transport. The Milan 2 comes in the Spartan MCT, which is another Milan 2, so that's 2 Milan 2s, and then this is 2 Milan 1s, incredible. So that's, you know, 12 plus 16 is 28, quick maths. So you get 28 ATGMs plus 12 MAGs, right? That's 40 little weapon teams that your enemies have to kill, and you've also got, you know, this, right? So, and the hell arms. So that's pretty nice, actually. The only issue is you don't get there first. These are best on the defensive, and you don't get there first. But generally, these are cool, and you know, you use this to kind of back up your tanks and stuff. You don't have ATGM, you know, whatever. You don't have. You don't have ATGM tanks? What am I going for here? You don't have IFVs. You don't have IFVs, that was it. And then 2 cards of Assault Pioneers. Yeah, I mean, they're like Terriers, except they come at 1 vet, right? But they don't have AT, so... So yeah, I tend to be buying all of these before I buy the Terriers, but the Terriers, they can be nice to mix in just for a little bit of cost efficiency, or you can just send it round the side, right? But generally, it's the Mott Rifles. Arty we spoke about. I mean, you can get rid of 4 Hell Arms and bring 2 of these, but honestly, I've played this div a lot, and I found that when I was running 2 of these, I would just run out of momentum, my opponent would manage to build up sufficient heavy assets to stop me, and I would lose the game. So we have to bring this. It's 2 per card. It is nice, it's just you got to spend ages towing it. It's a proper pain in the neck. And yeah, we got a self-propelled mortar for smoke. Very, very important with this division to be smoking while you're attacking. Kind of hard to do, but it is worth it. Tank tab. So your heaviest tank is the Chieftain Mark 11. I'm bringing 8. And yeah, the idea is just 2 of these to every fight. The Chieftain is one of the weakest tanks in the game for the price, even after the changes. And it's just because the rate of fire is super low. And the idea is, oh, it gets more penetration than most tanks for its price. That doesn't really matter. What matters is the rate of fire. Obviously, the pen has to be like high enough to shoot, right? But generally, the rate of fire is more important than the pen. And the Chieftains suffer a lot in the soft stats that nobody cares about, essentially, but they matter a lot for when you're playing. So, for example, the T-72 for the same price has 3 top armor, which means that it doesn't get killed by artillery as much. It's also a lot faster. The Chieftains are super slow, which means that, and with this low rate of fire, you're going to be shooting people, and even if you win, they will just go backwards. And they go backwards faster than you go forwards, because speed is the same forwards and backwards. So you can't catch them. So you only have 2 top armor, which makes you more susceptible to artillery. And you're also super slow, so you can't move out of the artillery very quickly. And your anti-infantry capacity on the British tanks is basically the worst in the game. Because all the British tanks only have MMGs. The Challenger, not featured here, only has 1 MMG. So a HMG is like 2 MMGs. It's also super good against helicopters, and you don't get any of that. So, and also the penetration doesn't matter when you're shooting at, you know, infantry. So the tanks are super bad against infantry. They're super slow. They're bad against artillery, and they all die in 1 side shot to conkers, right? And obviously this would die to a 30 AP missile. So in general, you know, if you want to do this strat, there are other divs that just do it better, and they're all unpacked, basically. So just to sort of hammer the point home here, so the M60 costs the same as the Chieftain, which literally just had its price reduced, right? So it was even worse before. And you might be like, wow, 3 more pen at the same range, right? Because the M60 shoots further. It's also faster. It also has a HMG. It also has 2 more ROF, right? And you might say, yeah, but 3 more pen. There's really only one situation where that's useful, and that's if an enemy gets too close to you, and you just kind of poke out and shoot him at really close range. Otherwise, tends not to actually matter having the more pen. The M60 is just obviously the better option, and it costs the same. And the Chieftain Mark 9 was 10 points more expensive last patch, so... I'm not saying this to complain, I'm just explaining to you what you're in for if you choose to play this division. It pays to be realistic, right? It also pays to thank the generous channel joiners generously joining the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get their videos early, they get members exclusive videos. 1 join at the lowest level is worth 2,000 views, so if you're feeling bad about your ad block, it's a great way to support the channel. And, you know, this is my sole source of income, which is why I shill so much. So back to the tank tab, right? So you get 8 Chieftain Mark 11s, 6 Mark 9s at 2 vet, and the Romor. So because which is like the American CEV but worse. Uh, oh dear, it really is something, isn't it? But it's just one of those things. Some things are just not meant to be. So the Romor costs more than the CEV, and it's slower, and it doesn't have a HMG, and it will die in one shot to a TOW 2, but it will actually survive a Milan 2, whereas the AVRE won't. And it's slower, which means it turns slower, and it doesn't have a HMG. I think I might have already said that. But yeah, the CEV will survive a TOW 2, the Romor won't. But incidentally, the Romor will actually survive a Conker's side shot, which is important given how slowly it turns. But you don't have you don't have a choice. If you're playing this division, obviously something has gone wrong in your life up to this point, but now you're here, and and it is what it is. It is what it is. So you just got to cope with it. So I do bring this at 1 vet, because it can smoke, and then you can leave under the smoke. Yeah, and then this is the Centurion Mark 12 AVRE 105. So this is actually pretty useful for the price. This is actually not bad. You'll notice I bring it at no vet. That's very important. The idea is whenever you bring a better tank, you bring one of these, right? You basically want to buy one of these a minute, every minute, and just mix in all the other stuff as you can, right? So let's say you want to buy a Chieftain Mark 11, well, you can afford one of these. If you want to buy, you can buy 2 of these in a minute if you want. You can buy 1 of these and 2 of these, right? You can buy, so that would be 140 for 2 of these, and then you can fit in 2 of these. The idea is you want to buy out the whole card, and you don't buy them all at once and send them down a road. I see so many people do that, and it's a big waste of your time. You just intersperse. It's the same idea with the terriers, but I'm a lot better at doing it with these. You intersperse these among the other tanks, and the idea is this goes first, this gets shot, this dies, right? And this is kind of why you don't need the FV432, because I mean, sure, you can just do the same thing with a Saxon that you would do with the FV432 anyway. But yeah, you don't need to tank with your APCs because this is doing the tanking. And sure, it'll die in one hit to a Milan 2, but the idea is you've now exposed the Milan 2 position, and 1 or 2 of these should kill the enemy. We've also got the Striker. The Striker's pretty important. You don't get Rover Milans on this division, unlike First UK or something. So you need this to guard your flanks, and also you bring it with your tanks. So it's quite similar to the First UK playstyle when it comes to the armor, in that you use, although the AVRE 105 really mixes it up. Whenever you buy a Chieftain, you buy a Striker, more or less, right? I know you want to buy an AVRE as well, but you can buy 1 AVRE, 1 Striker, and 1 Chieftain Mark 9 in a minute, right? But yeah, whenever you buy the tanks, you want to buy an ATGM with them, you can just buy 1 of these and then use this, and the idea is whenever the tanks are shooting, there's always ATGMs helping them. I cannot stress this enough. Whenever the tanks are shooting, there's always an ATGM helping them. Recon tab, so motorized scouts would be cool, but they've got 2 Sterlings, which are just terrible. But it's 8 guys, unlike motorized rifles, which is 9, so I'm not sure why, but whatever. This is your first guy in the fight, because it's a Saxon, so it's recon deployed, not airborne deployed, but it goes at 100 kilometers an hour, right? And you get there, you unload, and you hold ground until everybody else shows up. The scouts come in the Gazelle. That's because you can do a very funny opener with this division, which people don't expect. But like I said, the week this guide comes out, they will expect it. But the channel members will get this a week or 2 early, and as a result, they will have been able to have fun with it before the masses catch on. So that's your incentive to sign up. Obviously, if you're a regular viewer and you've just seen this, and you might be like, oh, I've missed my opportunity. But this basically happens with every single guide that I release. before. There's like a before and an after, right? And if you get to watch it before in the before times, you can actually use it before. You see it literally everywhere, and everybody knows how to counter it because they've seen it. So yeah, this is very funny. You'll see it in the examples. Timestamps in the description, of course. This got added this patch. A pretty cool piece of kit, actually. So it's a scimitar with exceptional optics, which is very nice. For some reason, the scimitar's 4 availability at Nova, which doesn't really make sense, because if you look at something like Spain, where is Spain? Where is Spain? Hello? I'm in pain. Where is Spain? What the heck? Is it just not there? I mean, I need to stick my face closer into this. There it is. This is also for... Oh, okay. Wow. Well, that was a great use of everybody's time. Yeah, so this is cool. For only 10 points more, you get exceptional optics, so you can actually see stuff, and this can go with your tanks and stuff like that. Very nice. And this also has exceptional optics, which helps. Sadly, only 3 availability, but it's got exceptional optics, so... AA, so this is kind of why you want to play narrow, right? So we spoke about playing narrow, and you can also, you always send a few things around the side and so on, like you can just send 1 strike around the side, it's fast through the forest, you can send like a, you know, a Saxon and whatnot, but generally you want to fight in a lane as this div and just a trit. But you've got to be quite aggressive with it, because if you don't attack them aggressively, they just start printing TATBVs, which can just kill everything you own. Or, you know, M1A1's same story, or even T72s are just sort of better. It's big sad, really. So, yeah, you play narrow, and you just have like 2 or 3 of these at the back, or even 4. And the enemy will use a bomber to kill your 130-point tank, or your 55-point tank, and you just blow him up. So it's not a div that wins quickly at all. You literally just have to sit there and kill people for 20-30 minutes before you can do anything. Tracked Rapier at 1 vet, you know, this is just a bit more mobile, basically. And then Javelins in the Saxon. Saxon's super useful. If somebody's going to strafe you, you can just load it back up, right? You keep the Saxon with it. Saxon's got smoke, very useful. Helis, so we spoke about this, you know, you can get rid of this to get 1 more point and then get to a big arty and then lose all your momentum and lose the game, or you can trust me, I'm the world number 1 plus 2 equals 12 player. So, yeah, 8 of these is a lot of fun, because you can just send 1 all the way around the side, right? And you can open with them. You'll see a game where I'm actually against a very good player, and I just open with like 4 of them, and his forward deployment just dies everywhere. He was like, he had no idea what the hell was going on. Completely bamboozled him. So, air tab, right? This thing is trash for the price. This should really be 3 per card, like the packed ones, but... this is your secondary ASF. I'm not making it up. This is your secondary ASF. It'll, you know, it's got the guns and the things, so it can kill a helicopter. Like, this does not kill helicopters because it's not got a gun. So you have to drive past, it'll shoot 1 of these, and you've got to hope it hits, and if it's a hog, you know, a tow cobra, whatever, it's not going to die. So you got to come back again and hope you hit twice in a row. 60% times 2 is a 120% chance to hit twice. That's how that works, right? It's... You've basically got a high chance of not hitting him twice in a row. Let's put it that way. It's like just over a 1 in 4 chance of hitting him twice in a row. This thing, 1 pass. If this hits, it'll kill it because the gun will do at least 1 damage. This is super useful. I don't understand why these cost the same. First of all, I think they should both be less expensive. But yeah, they're kind of weird in that they've got an anti-air missile, not an anti-helo missile, as their secondary. It is interesting, and it's like, oh, I can use it as a fighter. Well, you got to be careful with it. It's nice if, like, so if you send 1 of these out with 1 of these behind, and you've got 1 of these circling, and this does show up in the examples, and then somebody sends an enemy jet towards you, and then all of a sudden this is now useful. obviously you want the real fighter in the front, but you can also shoot him with this fighter, and then he'll say, "Oh, you're too lucky," right? And it's like, well, what do you mean? It was a 3v1. The other thing you can do with this is switch off one of the bombs, drop it on somebody, come back around, switch on the other one and drop it on him again, and you can get 2 bombing runs. And for some reason this is the same price despite not having that capability. So that's it for the deck review. Now we'll go through a series of examples. Like I said, if you enjoy this, then, you know, like, etc. Okay, so this is the first example, and we're against 2Y on Valley Duel. We are on the good side, so take a good look at this deployment here. So we're doing the funny heli rush that we spoke about in the deck review. So, yeah, did you see how he did that kind of wiggle there? So these end up trading, but the reason why is that he could have shot me from further away, but he faced the wrong way for a second, so I managed to close the distance, and the first missiles basically hit at the same time. Anyway, you see, you know, this has the sky flash on it and so on, but the 10-second travel time means it's not really an ASF. So lots of scouts coming out in the helicopters, just trying to take everything. You see this, and this can't shoot that, right? But the Vulcan gun's pretty nice. As you can see, although I think we hit him in the rear or something, like it seemed to do a lot of damage there. So you see the hell arm forces the enemy to unload. You don't always want to open with one of these bombers. Usually it's good to open with a Jaguar rocket and the Phantom, something like that. So you see we've bombed once, and then we had one of the weapons switched off, and now we switch the other one back on. The Hellarm can survive a man-pad hit, which means you can just land, and look at that, it can still fire while landed, if it's facing the right way. So he fires at this one, which means that I actually get first shot off advantage off on him, but sadly we don't hit him at all. He does have 40% ECM. And then the MAGs have shown up. We are on the good side. This map is really one-sided, actually. It's pretty stupid. So a lot of the scouts have actually died. Like you see, it's not an amazing strat, but you get enough time to get the MAGs in, and you get the Milan 1s up. Like I said, I mean, this is one of the weakest divs in the game. I wouldn't say it's the weakest, right? There are some worse ones. Everything gets smoke, though, which is nice. Like, almost everything. Obviously, this doesn't. But, you know, this does. Sorry, the transport does. All these transports do. And, yeah, so we open with, you know, the funny scout thing, and then just a picket line of Milan 1s. Because they're all coming in Milan transports, right? This is 80 points for 2 of these. This does have AT, so we just miss him like 4 times in a row, but what can you do? We're just too lucky. So, yeah, Milans. You'll notice also I'm sending a strike around the side, so trying to get the strikers up here, because they have the same range as the BMP too. They're your longest range thingamabob. I know he's weak on the AA, and you see the mega ATGM spam does eventually catch up with him, right? He's starting to get shot. This guy still didn't hit that. So I'm trying to focus his AA. Second, guards, obviously a much better division, but it's weak versus air spam. It has to rely on its fighters, and like he's still... Yes, that was obviously a bit stupid of me. So he's still got 2 of these because I didn't manage to kill either of them. But he's sort of sending it out too late. I was a bit too slow on my CVs. But you see, I really did need more frontline things. But rather than buying that Jaguar, I could have bought both of these and got this capped. Because I'm on a -4, right? Which is a pretty big deal. But you see that, you know, the scouts with the heli drop, you can get into some good positions. For some reason, he didn't want to contest this, so we actually kill a BMP-1 there. Which was presumably what this came in. So that's like 40 points or something. And yeah, so we've got the striker, and you see I'm bringing up a javelin as well. It's because I anticipate that he will put a thingamabob there. I believe this is the one from before, but I just want to take advantage of the fact that he's got 2 fighters, and I know that one's repairing, and I saw the other one evac, because it came over here and evac, right? So I do actually buy a second one. I wouldn't overinvest in air. Generally, I should just be buying more on the ground. As you can see, I missed there. But look, I'm getting 2 bombing runs off with each of these. And so this is like buying 2 bombers. Wow, incredible. But yeah, my opponent's still on a +1. Once we cap alpha, that should stop. And you see, you know, I'm buying too many planes, really. This was a mistake. Imagine if instead of buying this, I had 2 more chieftains, right? And then instead of buying this, I had 2 more chieftains. Well, then I'd have 4 chieftains, and I'd just own this, right? Obviously, you don't want to buy 4 chieftains. You want to buy 2 chieftains, you know, 2 javelins and 2 mott rifles or something like that. So this is a mistake. I know it looks really cool, but it is a mistake. Anyway, so this does have 40% ECM, but that doesn't make the missiles any better. So this was a mistake, though, and I realised my mistake. He's only got 1 long-range missile left, so that would have to hit me twice to kill me. So because he's 25 kilometers an hour faster than me, incredible. And you'll notice that he does get in. I'm not sure how he managed that, given that this was here, but maybe it was just moving into position. So he does manage to get in there. But we've got a Sultan over here. I will start speeding this up a bit now. So you see I put the Javelin over here. This doesn't have any long-range missiles left, so it can't really shoot this. And so now I'm going to 3v1 him. So we 3v1 him here because this is too far out of position. And as you can see, this can... So I'm pretty sure I got hit by this. But as you can see, this can sort of double as an ASF, and this was just out of position. So with these being as weak as they are and not being 3 per card like they should be, like they would be if I was a red division, you got to be very careful with how you use them. But yeah. So relying on the strikers to help in the open ground, using the scouts to get up. I mean, this was one of the first games I played. This was the first game I played on the division out of this, you know, like in the last month or 2 months or something. Out of this group of examples, this was the first game, which is why it's first. So I wasn't doing very well, but you see, like, so something like this is really not so bad. Obviously, you don't get the grenade launchers and so on. But yeah, you know, the OSA it just doesn't have the range, really. Right? If these were Cubs, I'd be in a world of hurt, because he would have got 4 rounds off on me instead of 2. And so he got 2 rounds off, he'd have to hit me twice to kill me, which is quite unlikely. But it does happen. Especially when you need it to not do that. So I buy the Darkfire, right? And, you know, I'm just sort of doing the air bully. I completely messed this up. I wanted to shoot this, but I messed up. Right, and then this ends up evacing the wrong way, and then there you go. Sometimes they do shoot twice and hit twice. So that was I bought way too many planes in this game. Really, like, what the hell am I doing? There's just an endless stream of planes. I suppose it looks cool. You also see the you know, these 105s, right? You can just bring one to every single fight, and then like, what's going on here? So that wasn't very smart of me, but then we 2v1 him there because the OSAs were shooting. And you see this thing did shoot, right? Because, but yeah, we lose 2 of the planes there. It wasn't very smart, but we 2v1 the fighter because the OSAs were reloading from killing the Jaguar. So yeah, way too many planes, really. I think if I'd played a stronger ground game, this game would have been a lot easier than it was. So he's buying an Acacia. Realistically, you should be buying more AA. It doesn't really have enough here. You do see the Briusa showing up, but you see, you know, trying to play the flanks here, and you use the Hell Arms, right? So you can just sort of send one forwards and see what's crack-a-lacking. I do try and hit that, but he stops with this, so I miss it. And then, like, what the hell am I doing? Yeah. Anyway, this is out of ammo, which is good for me, because otherwise I'd be dead. Yes, Saperi RPO are going to beat Mott Rifles because he just sets me on fire. BRM1K goes down. Yeah, I don't know. I bought way too many planes, but, you know, like I said, like, this doesn't really have the range. It also doesn't have any ammo. But so it's actually still reloading there. And this was on an attack move order, so the missile lost its tracking as soon as I passed out of its range. Whereas if he'd stopped with it, it would have actually got me, so... or at least it would have stayed on target, it might have still missed. It wouldn't have killed me because of the, I had more than 7 HP or whatever. So, yeah, you see the kind of combined arms. As the examples progress, the combined arms gets a lot better, but you see that, you know, his stuff, like, it is a lot better than mine, but it can't be everywhere, so, you know, we do a little push here, we do a little push here. I know I said that you want to play on a narrow front. I would consider this to be a fairly narrow front, right? Obviously, you don't want to just punch your enemy in the face over and over again. You do, if you do see a heavy tank, you want to attack somewhere else if possible. So he sends a MiG to, like, these shouldn't have been over each other, but this only has 10% ECM. This would have got 2 shots off on it, but yeah, the Javelin was like way out ahead, so did hit it there. Sadly too late to intercept it. That's another thing. These missiles, so suppression from missiles depends how big the missile is. So 2 Cub misses will just evac any plane, basically. I'm not sure about 2 vet planes, but 1 vet planes that will just evac anything with 2 Cub misses. The tracked Rapiers can miss it like 3 times and not do it. So look what I'm doing here. The Jaguar rocket comes out in front, so that can soak the hits. And you see, you know, they're both shooting at different targets, right? They're re-aiming and stuff. Although this ended up getting hit and this didn't. But you get the idea. The Jaguar rocket goes first so that this doesn't die. And yeah, we'll speed it up a bit. Basically, he's very, very far behind at trades at this point. And you see the AVRE 105s are actually pretty useful. The Saxons with the smoke. And yeah, it dies, right? And I bought the arty now. We are on the good side, so we get this nice forest, and this is very difficult to fight in, so this is why I'm moving up here to try and just basically make it so he can't get in. His div's way better than mine, though, so it's all fair. And, yeah, we lose that because there was no Jaguar going first. At this point, he now has sufficient AA, right? He's got 4 of these, as opposed to 2. You see the difference it's making. But yeah, the Gvardetsi, I mean, obviously I cost 10 points more, but I'm 9 guys, so they are better, and you can, you know, you want to use the LOS to try and figure out how you can get the Saxons into position to shoot, stuff like that. But like I said, you know, if you want to basically do the same thing but better, just play 31st Soviet. It's just kind of a better version of this div. Or just any of the pack T-72 divs. So, the Hellarm has the unfortunate consequence of being one-shot by OSAs, which is something you gotta watch out for. Because, like, an Igla won't do it. But you see, we can move up through here, like, so the Saperi RPO, yeah, but once he runs out of RPOs, I'm gonna win. So I've got 2 machine guns, he's got 1, and I'm vetted and he's not. So I believe what happened there is he used all his RPOs, I came back, that'll be this one, I sent another one in and I killed him. So yeah, something like this is 20 points more than the Chieftain, and it is just way better. It can survive a 30 AP plane missile, and it's got, you know, it's 50 kilometers an hour faster, it's got 3 top armor, it's got an NSVT as opposed to 2 MMGs, so it's got basically a 50 cal. And its rate of fire doesn't go down as it loses cohesion, whereas yours starts at 7, goes up to 8, and then goes back down to 6 after you get hit. Jaguar in front, so you really do struggle against these tanks. And you'll notice the Jaguar in front just doesn't seem to be working. I don't know why, really. I mean, this is on an attack move, so it's not right-clicked on it. Maybe I should have sent it further in front. But yeah, this is going to be kind of a consistent problem with playing this division. And it's kind of unavoidable when we're talking about it. This div is quite weak. I mean, it just is. So, if you're interested in meta, I do have a guide to 2Y, which is a lot better. I mean, there are still better divs, like 79Y would be better, 6Y, 31, Soviet. I just tend not to play the meta slot because it's boring. Like, you beat somebody and you're like, wow, you know, I'm so good. So, he was pushing me here, and you can see, because of the Bedfords and the Saxons, you wouldn't be able to do this with those FV432 scat things, but because of the Saxons, you can actually reinforce this quite quickly. And all of a sudden, you know, his infantry, which does come with Resolute for free, it's just getting overwhelmed by trash. I mean, I was trying to find angles where these could shoot. And And, you know, you can lock down areas with this, but it's not... Like, it would be shooting at that, but it's not got the stuff. Now, at this point, I've basically won. But, you know, it might as well just speed it up. Because, yeah, you just keep sort of doing this. And, yeah, we're trying to constantly take this back to stop him from getting back in here. I've got a couple planes left, but I'm saving them. And, oh, I missed it. Oh, I missed it. So there was a tracked rapier here that shot and missed, and then this killed it through its own smoke. I did make a separate video about that specific incident, because it was very, very silly. And this ended up being a really big problem, because I got so unlucky with that tracked rapier, this just came and killed everything, so I sent a Jaguar rocket after it, and the OSA first shot, second shot it, and it's like, oh, okay. And then at the end of the game, he said I was too lucky. That was really something. Anyway, so we landed it then, and it got blown up by all the ATGMs and so on. So, you know, you do have to keep these moving, whereas with the self-propelled one, you don't. Obviously, if you got M109s, I would bring those, because it's 2 in a card, but I don't, and I want 4 extra hell arms. And, yeah, you can see that, you know, we just have more stuff, and that's going to be a consistent point for 4th UK. Your stuff is weaker, but you've got more, and whenever they use the planes, like, the Darkfire has 80% accuracy. This is because it's at 2-vet because of the CV and it got a kill, otherwise it would be 70%. And you see, you know, wow, here comes more guys, here comes more guys, here comes more guys. But even so, you know, these tanks, that's the same price as a Chieftain Mark 11, and it's also a CV. It's really something. This is really something, then. And so, you know, we just blew these up. And then I believe he quit. Because I think he's out of CVs. So, yeah, I mean, high-level game, etc., etc., right? Rank 12, rank 8. Anyway, we'll go to the next example. Right, so this is the next example, and this is against not MJ Blair. And we're doing the same thing again. Don't worry, they're not all like this. But yeah, Recon Helo out, Phantom F3, you see... So I was expecting him to do the standard Spanish opener of here's a bunch of helos with autocannons and stuff. And so that's why I open with 2 of these, because this is like your substitute ASF, right? This is better against helicopters than this, and this is 3 per card, and this is 2 per card. This should really be 3 per card, and or cheaper, but it's not unpacked, so it's not allowed. So yeah, just kind of the same thing, right? You can get in everywhere. They're not all like this. And you see the power of the hell arm? It's just going to sit here and just shoot all these. So we do get in. The hell arm here dies because he was doing a funny rush. So I just put this back there so it can sideshot people. The Jaguar rockets, I try and bring them over. They're not very good against armor, so I guess that was a waste of time. I probably would have been better off killing these guys, but you see that this hell arm is like it's killed 2 now, and it's just going to keep firing all 8 until he buys some AA. So this Aspid thing is kind of shit. I mean, it's only 90 points, which is alright. Anyway, it crits me, so we have to go home there. Wow. It did 2 extra damage. Interesting. It's like an OSA, except it doesn't move. And it's worse, I think. Anyway, so you see the power of the Striker, it just kind of hitting things. The Aspid hits me again, I mean, it is what it is, right? I'm just trying to buy time. Sadly, he gets me there through the... I didn't smoke fast enough, so we do lose a Jaguar rocket to the Aspids. So I guess maybe they're not so bad. Anyway, I sent this around the side, and yeah, we just got a bunch of MAG teams in the middle. We don't get grenade launchers. He does, actually. I don't know if he... Yeah, he brings some. So we'll speed it up a bit. As you can see, he's pushing me here, but I've pushed him here. The issue is, of course, this is 4 HP and this is 8 by default, and I didn't manage to intercept the transport, so we just buy another hell arm, right? Because we've got 8 of them, and, you know, the Strikers are not so bad. I mean, they miss a lot. They've only got 45% accuracy, right? You can get a BMP2 for the same price, which has higher accuracy, same range, an autocannon, 2 more armor, but it doesn't have the mediocre stealth, right? And yeah, so we just land this because of that thing. And then it shoots me on the ground because it can... I'm not sure what's going on there, really. So this does a lot of missing, but the idea is it rattles off 10 missiles, right? The salvo length is 5, so it'll just, as soon as one misses, it'll fire the next one. It'll do that 5 times. So yeah, this is a problem, but you send in a Mott rifles, right, and you use the Saxon to assist, and then you win. And we did actually get the scouts out there, so we have overextended a little bit here. Like the grenade launchers do outrange the MAGs. This does eventually get... So that's what I was talking about. It got into ground range and it got me there, so... yeah, so we got the... these are the things I was worried about at the start, right? But look, the AA is dead now, so... We'll just come in and kill all these, right? He's sent all 4 to the same place. He's like top 50 or top 20 or something like that. He's a very good player. But people aren't really used to playing against this division because it's dog, so nobody plays it. And this is the good one, right? This is the F-18, so I think he gets me there. Yeah, which you'd expect, really. It's very good, this plane. 40% ECM. We do end up struggling against his planes a lot later on in the game. So he has managed to sort of mess me up here, but... So, like, something like this... like, the Striker is pretty good against it, because it's only got the minimum range gun. And, incidentally, right, it's got 9 armor. 24 pen is enough to one-shot 10 armor. 23 pen is enough to one-shot 9 armor. So this one-shots these AMX-30Es and the EM2s, right? It does not one-shot the Mando. No, it does. It's the one with ERA it doesn't one-shot because it's got 1 more HP, but the Striker is actually really good against these 9 armor tanks. It's the same against Leopard 1s. Leopard 1s tend to have 9 armor. And Belgian ones have 8 or something, but... So, like, this one-shots those. So this div is actually quite powerful against Leopard 1 divs. It's similar to First UK, except First UK is kind of better. But if you're fighting in a town, you'd rather be playing 4th UK. Well, frankly, you'd rather be playing a lot of other divs than 4th UK or 1st UK if you're fighting in a town. But yeah, like the div is not without its disadvantages. Anyway, you see the cool javelin thing here, so I like put it in a Saxon, and then I unload it, and then I die. I mean, I could have loaded it back up there and smoked and tried something, but probably still would have died just in the vehicle. But you saw the idea, right? You could sort of shotgun it, but I did miss, sadly, and that meant that I died because, you know, 60% accuracy, it misses, and then he can see me, so I die. Whereas if he couldn't see me, I guess he would have hit me, but... Well, he might have. Anyway, so the Chieftain Mark 9s trade reasonably well into Leopards on the defense, simply because, you know, he has to push into you, you shoot him first, and so on. So this thing's pretty gnarly, kind of hard to kill, especially with my fighters. It's got 40% ECM. I mean, it's an F-18 with Mavericks on it, that's what it is, so... This does end up causing us a lot of problems, actually. So, he gets me there. Oh, okay. I think it's the next one I struggled to kill. Wow. That's really something. I guess it's because he's low cohesion, because the javelins have been... I was quite fortunate, actually. Anyway... When it happens to me, it's okay, of course. So, yeah, the 40mm is a lot better than this, but it's also, you know, almost 3 times more, so... And, yeah, on the defense, the Chieftains are pretty good. I am trying to push over here, but, you know, the Javelin... I'm trying to get the Javelins up, and... Yeah, this thing... Like, it's... You would expect it to hit more than miss, but... Yeah, anyway, he gets me there, and, yeah, it's very sad. You expect it to hit more than miss, but it doesn't have a gun. So this is actually a lot better at killing those things, because the gun could just kill it on its own. So you see, we're losing a lot here. Like, maybe this wasn't such a great idea, or I should have... As I said, if you play narrow, you tend to have a better time as this did. Like, by all means, send something around the side, but don't send everything. Like, these should have just come up here and killed this guy. As I was playing these games, I was learning, right? So that the guide can be as good as possible. I mean, there's... So, this guy, we hit him with 2 planes and a Darkfire, and he gets that 40% ECM, right? And, oh, wow! Oh, okay. So yeah, that's that Sky Flash coming in clutch there, getting him on the back end. I didn't realise I killed that. That's interesting. But sadly we lose the bomber, which is just not worth it really, because this is actually cheaper. So yeah, I don't know about this Aspid thing. Seems to be alright. Anyway, the idea is, yeah, so he's going to attack narrow. He should have bombed this Darkfire, really. And we are struggling to kill him with 1 Darkfire, which is... Yeah, it's got nice accuracy, but... Fair enough. So we buy another Darkfire, and the idea is, yeah, we're just going to sit here, and we're on a +1 right now, as long as we keep these sides secure. I shouldn't have pushed all the way up to here, that was a bit silly. I think the heavier asset should have come up here to fight in mid, and then, you know, maybe leave... like 1 striker there, or I'll put 1 striker here, or whatever, you know. So this thing is a Svillinger, and you see it's really, like, can't really kill it. So he kills my Hell Arm there. This must have missed. Oh yeah, so this, if that was a Cub, the suppression on miss would have filled this bar up to half, because it's fired once and it's missed once. But because it's a Darkfire, the missile isn't as big, so it doesn't do as much suppression, and you'll notice that a lot. You'll notice that a lot. Your AA just isn't that good, right? I mean, that's something you gotta get used to, you know. So, see, look, same thing, right? A Cub would fill that bar up half, and 2 misses would evac him. But you're a Darkfire, not Cub, so 2 Darkfires now. Maybe next time. So that Javelin hits, which is nice because it saves me. He had that Mando there, it got spotted by one of my infantry and I just whacked it. So we'll speed it up a bit now. As you can see, he just doesn't have many units left. We're very much ahead on trades, and like stuff like the Milan ones you can just sort of put everywhere. And look at this, like trying to buy as many of these 105s as possible. I do get better at it as the examples go on, but... So he does manage to push me out here. And there you go. So that was the HE one, which doesn't have as much ECM. It's only got 20%. But, you know, we got many Darkfires now. This has just run out of ammo, I think. And the Sultan was near it, so... Okay, it's not vetted. Maybe it didn't hit it. Maybe there's another one. We got another Darkfire here. So, yeah, look at that. I mean, you know, that long-range missile coming in clutch there. But sadly, this Aspid thing gets me. To be honest, if I had been paying attention, I would have been able to arty that, so... Because he's not moved it all game, and it's towed, so you'd think I'd be able to kill that, actually. Anyway, big losses going on here, so this was a weak time for me. I bought too many planes again, right? Should have had a row more here. Yeah, I really was struggling against these planes. I've got a lot of Darkfires. We are killing them slowly, but a lot of times they're getting out. And, you know, don't be afraid of just sending up a Hellam. Spain sucks against Helos, because they don't have a man-pad, even though in real life they have the Minstrels. And they got them before Belgium in real life. But in this game, Belgium has them, and Spain doesn't. And that's just the way things are. So this thing would one-shot a 2 top armor vehicle. I mean, I'm pretty sure it would one-shot a 3 top armor vehicle, really. That's over 3,000 kilos of ordnance, so... And, you know, we started to get the rifles in, because I knew there was like a tank here. And yeah, the 105s are great at, like, you know, I mean, obviously it died, but this costs as much as those Fusileros, so might even be less. How much are the Fusileros? 55 or 60? Let's see, 90 ones. I think they're 55. And yeah, you know, you can use the mortar to get in close. Side shots with these will one-shot these, right? Sometimes you just need a rifles, that's why we went for that. Finally, the, you see this is out of ammo, but the Darkfires get him. He flew very close that time. We're moving them after they shoot. For some reason the transport's got on this one I'm moving. This one was out of ammo, so he didn't see it. Yeah, this will obviously beat one of these. I mean, it costs so much more, right? But yeah, the rifles are pretty good, and you know, you use the smoke and stuff. These towed AA guns are something you don't get. Oh, here we go, and now I can check. 55 points. Although it is 11 guys. That's crazy, actually. What? 11 guys for 50... Oh, I suppose it's because they've not got machine guns. Anyway, so we'll speed it up a bit. But yeah, we're still on that +1. Nice div to defend with. That was really dumb of me. I shouldn't have done that. I think I bought too many planes in this game. Should have just stuck to the fighters and so on. And yeah, you just get, like, so look, this is 80 points, but it's actually 2 ATGMs for 80 points. So that's really cool. And this has more stealth, so it goes closer, and this has less stealth, so it goes further away. And this can survive a hit, and this can't. So, you know, you see how it goes. And yeah, you see you can just get a lot of infantry up. The dark fires, this one's been resupplied as well now. But yeah, he was too far away. They don't have a lot of range. I'm surprised this one didn't shoot, actually. I mean, but whatever. And as you can see, you know, you just play it. Okay, and now I'm going to spam 10 Guerrillian guys, and we got some chieftains mixed in, and some scouts mixed in, and we got the AT plane finally. And you see, it's just like, it just completely collapses. That is just how it goes sometimes, right? Because you kill all his planes, and then all of a sudden you've got this critical mass, and like, look at that, he just lost all of his army. So at this point it's basically over, so we'll just speed it up. So we get back in mid, and you know, we're using the smoke mortar. He's bought too many planes, basically. Those planes he's buying are basically 1 per minute. He bought even more than me. The AA is like, you can buy 2 of those in 1 minute. It's like half the price, so we do lose that dark fire there to the AMX-30, but there you go. You know, he's a pretty good player, right? Rank 126, more ranked games than me this season. And yeah, we'll go into the next example where we won't be doing the helicopter thing. Right, so I wanted to show you what happens if you can't do the heli rush. So we ended up against each other again, and this time I was like, well, I can't open with the scouts because he'll know about it, so we got to do something else. We're on the good side of Isura Duel. This map is reasonably one-sided, actually. It's not as bad as Valley, in my opinion, or Creda. Basically, the way you play if you're on the red side is you set up here and here, and you just try and shoot into the sides of these zones. He's going for this, which I've tried. I don't like it personally, but you see the Saxons have smoke, so you can smoke. This AT thing will just one-shot these. It's actually really good. And so you see, yeah, this should be in the forest really, but for some reason I can't shoot that helo. I think I was stunned or something. So you see that was literally, it fired 2 rockets. The first one hit it and exploded it. So you got to watch out for these. They're very strong against vehicles. Anyway, he was trying to strafe this, I think, and so then, you know, this is the same as the Spanish one, and the dark fire, wow, it's got the CV next to it, but the idea was just jet plus AA, plus, also I have a second one here, so yes, you would expect me to win that fight. Also I have a javelin here, and a javelin here, although this wasn't in position to help. So these rocket things are pretty good, and they can survive one of these, but they cost a lot. And yeah, you know, everything's got smoke, so this is a very high skill ceiling div. I mean, you got to be kind of good to win with this div, because it is worse than your opponent's div almost every time. But the idea is, you know, all your stuff's getting smoke, like even something like this gets smoke, so super cool. I'll be honest, Canada's also a very difficult div to play well, because it's kind of lighter. But yeah, he came for this. I think that was a mistake, really. If he'd come for this, I think it would have gone much better for him. But, you know, hindsight's 50-50, as they say. And yeah, we're on the nice side. You see the kind of more ground-based opener, so I actually opened with 2 dark fires and 2 javelins, because I was expecting him to buy a lot of planes and stuff, and my idea was just to kind of sit there. You know, we know that so there's this kind of big brain maneuver that all these big brains who sit in the FOB Discord all day talking about me do, and they bring the blowpipe in the Cook v blowpipe, because it's like, wow, you get 2 AA for the price of 1, it's better than a javelin, and against helicopters certainly, yeah. But against aircraft, you have a 35% accuracy with a 1700-meter range, so it's terrible. And so he just can't do anything about this. And as soon as I figured out that's what he was bringing, I was like, okay, time to spam planes. Because the only thing he can kill me with are those mega expensive Hornets, one of which just died. Or he can buy an ADATS, which costs 200 points, because he's gone for the blowpipes. So look, he kills the Hell Arm, and he's just going to keep missing this. Doesn't matter how... I mean, he can buy as many of these as he wants. It's got 1775 meters range against planes. Okay, he hits me and he crits me, so I evac, but... they're just not that good an idea, really. You're better off bringing the Javelin. But, you know, they've got the thing, right? They're good against planes. So the Romor, right, it's obviously going to lose to a Leopard 1, but you see, you know, you get the ATGMs and so on, and then, like, I was like, okay, so he's bringing blowpipes, and there's lots of guys here, so we got a cheeky triple kill, and then he misses me because he's got 3 blowpipes. And yeah, you know, you can use the Gazelle scouts, right? I mean, I know what I said, like, it's nice to play narrow, but actually, maybe it isn't. Maybe I was wrong. And look, it gets 2 bombing runs off, and then it, for some reason, it gets auto-evac'd, and it decides to fly in a loop this way, as opposed to just going back to the air thing here. Either way, it doesn't die, which is nice. So yeah, you can play mobile with this div. Generally, you want to just be aggressively attritioning while losing as few of your own units as possible, but isn't that every div? But the general idea is usually you can't do mobility stuff like this. It's just I saw how heavy you went on this side, and I thought it's probably not got anybody here. Anyway, these are like 5 per card, because as you can see, they don't do a whole lot. But they've only got 6 HP, which means that one of these rounds will hit it. This guy's having some performance issues, though. Thankfully, the dark fires are actually hitting these, but this guy fired 2. Oh, okay. So, I don't understand why they keep evacing that way. It's because the air spawn's here, so... Anyway, that dies because it evac'd the wrong way. The Sultan goes down here because it was too far forwards. It should have been further back. So we are getting pushed out of there, right? But we get an Ilta CV here. Dodging. The Darkfire needs to move at some point. It's just, I was just hoping I could get one of these, and there you go, right? They're 5 per card, but they're only 6 HP, so... and look... Right, we're starting to hit him now, and... Yeah. So this... I didn't know about the ADATs yet, I'm pretty sure. I know I lost a thing there, but... Oh, and the evacs that way... yeah, lovely. And then I'll probably lose this one as well. So basically, just never buy planes. That was obviously very stupid, but the bomber was the one I used on this before and on this, and that worked, but now he's bought the ADATs, right? So, yeah, just chieftains and scouts and just, you know, having lots of units and losing all my planes. I didn't realise how badly I played this game, blimey. I was like doing my best to throw. What can I say? It's a tough div to play at the best of times. But yeah, you know, smoke's your friend, you get self-propelled smoke mods. These are pretty nice, actually, because they've got quite a lot of range and damage. We 3v1 him there, or 4 if you can't, or 5 if you can't. So we're starting to get our brain cells back, right? And, yeah, you know, we bought even more planes. Incredible. So the ADATs are out of bullets, which is probably why I survived there. And it's kind of like the last thing, where just all of a sudden he ends up losing loads of units. But yeah, we're on the good side. I mean, this is... it was going to be hard for him anyway. He should have played slower, I think. But yeah, I'm trying to snipe these ADATs. And, like, look, this Milan 1, it's not as good as a Milan 2, but well, that's a 200-point kill, and, you know, you can just sneak these guys around, use the Saxons and so on, and so he does manage to push me out of here, right? So we're not ticking. This sadly missed, and I couldn't get to him. It's really weird. He's hit me with the Carl Gustavs, so I had to get back. So I'm pretty sure I just RT him. Yeah. So look, you can. So in 1 minute, I can buy one of these and achieve the Mark 9, or one of these and 2 infantry. Whereas if I was buying the big one, I wouldn't be able to do that. But you got to tow it around for the whole game and try not to get counter batteried. Basically, if you're feeling sleepy, don't play this div. If you've not got enough sleep, don't play this div. If you can't click fast, don't play this div. If you want an easy game, don't play this div. But you see the idea, right? So the 105 is in there, and that's... I mean, it should be at the front, really, but it was the first one to engage that Leopard 1. And, you know, it can get hit, it can take the hits, you can send that one forwards. It should be in front, really, the micro was a bit off. And look at that, so it died because I wasn't paying enough attention. Milan 2s, right, doing a lot of work. Like, this can survive a TOW 2 or a Milan 2 on the front, whereas the Leopard 1 can't. The main advantage of the Leopard 1 is its fire rate. It is also a little cheaper, but it's more of a glass cannon, right? So you see that time I missed, even though I'm 2 vet, but big sad, I mean, it is what it is. I wouldn't have one-shot him anyway, but he didn't one-shot me because I've got a lot of armor. So look, he actually got 4 kills there, and I'm pretty sure it still wasn't worth it if he dies. But I think he makes it out because of this electric voodoo, giving him that ECM there. Incredible EW playing gameplay. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he got like 4 units there. A big supply, a Chieftain Mark 9, or it might have been a small supply actually, and like 2 infantry, something like that. So that was silly of me, but in general, if you spread out a bit and he does a bombing run like that, like that still didn't pay for itself, even though it got 4 kills. It didn't pay for itself. So that's kind of the idea behind this division, right? And you got to use the smoke and stuff, and yeah, just using the AVREs where you can. As you can see, I've not bought any Terriers yet. Like, you might want to get rid of that card, but sometimes you just kind of need them, right, for the grind. So you want to. This is a grindy div. Like, even though we're on the good side, we're actually struggling to do anything here. So you got to move the Darkfire now. I didn't move it because I'm regarded. Oh dear. And you can just use the mortars as HE. It doesn't do a whole lot, but as you can see, it did actually hit that and do less than 1 damage to it. And, you know, I'm paying a bit more attention now and, you know, trying to get the Spartan out, the ATGMs with the Chieftains. Don't have the Chieftains fighting alone. Always have an ATGM with them, or artillery supporting them, or what have you. So he buys this M109, and, you know, look how many units I could afford. So it's constantly flank shotting him and stuff. So yeah, it's very much a cost efficiency div, but the tanks should actually be cheaper than they are. You'll notice I didn't bring the unique chieftain to this division, like the 1/4 or whatever it is. Or is that the one in HDR? There's another chieftain, it might be the Mark 6. And that's because that one didn't come down in price, so it's even less worth. But look, you know, you got the Romar plus MCT, and, you know, everybody's weighing in. That died because I'm a moron, but you get the general idea. Like, oh, he sends a tank forwards, 10 Gorillion things shoot it. So this is an F-18, 40% ECM. So these have the long-range missiles, but yeah. But I know I've killed the ADATs here because I killed that, and yeah, you can play around the sides and stuff. Sorry, I guess I just said that wrong, really. Anyway, he tries to get me, so he flies over all the Darkfires. Oh, there's 3 of them now and 2 Javelins. Looks like he does actually get out that time. Okay. But we hit that. I mean, air's all RNG, right? So he gets this, but look, you know, we got a lot of AA here. No, okay. I was moving this and it was out of range anyway. But yeah, you can sort of play wide, but the main thing you got to focus on is just trading. And if you want to send a few Saxons around the side, go for it. But in general, it's less than stellar. So yeah, at this point it's like we've killed, because you'll notice I'm just trying to kill his guys. Like, look at how big this blob of units has become. So at this point I'm like, yeah, so do you see we smoke here, so he goes forwards into the front building, and he gets hit by about 7 tanks at once, and incidentally they only do 3 damage to him, because as I said, British tanks are so useful against the baddies. This wouldn't one-shot that anyway on the side armor. Although I'm pretty sure... Oh, there you go. That was a side shot, I believe. Might not have been. Anyway, I want to kill this because I can see it with this, I believe. So I send the fighter over first, and then I just sort of mong out, and this guy just mongs out. Anyway, you can see the idea behind playing narrow, and it's like, oh, he comes in, right, and he unironically kills 2 tanks, and he dies, and it wasn't worth it. So I did try and hit that, but I got hit by an ADATS. Twice. So yeah, my airplay is pretty trash, actually. But it's very hard to play this div, because look at all the units I have to control, right? I'm doing a lot of things at once. So we kill the thingy. Was it worth it? Probably not. I'm just wasting these planes, really. You want to save them. Like, I mean, that was just not worth it at all. I lost 2 planes, or maybe even 3 planes trying to kill that one thing. But yeah, something like this is great for going around the side. Not sure what that was. Apparently I didn't kill it. Oh, I didn't see a death there. But even despite my best attempts to throw, the actual ground game is going really well. Like, you see these are spread out. They are terriers. Wow, incredible. And you got the AVREs and the Romor and the exceptional optics and the scouts and all the Saxons, and he comes in, he gets a double kill, doesn't matter. He killed 90 points worth of units with a 260 point plane. Epic double kill, but it doesn't matter because, you know, so you see the idea behind the strategy. This is what I've been trying to say from the beginning. In general, you're not really mobile enough to be attacking down flanks and stuff, and your AA isn't really good enough for that, so, and your fighters can't support you, so you want to just set up all the dark fires here and, yeah, and just sort of kill everybody and then walk in, so... I'll speed this up a bit, and, you know, we're doing something dumb now just because I had time and whatever, we end up losing some people, I'd won, right? So let's show you the next example. Right, so this is another example. As you can see, I opened with a Jaguar rocket because I figured the only thing he's going to send out is an F4F, and I'm not really expecting him to expect this at all. I'm against somebody called Dark Neutron. He's a really good player. He's got like 2,500 hours in Steel Division 2, something like that. He's not been playing much Warno recently, I think. He's playing 5th Panzer, and so I did cover this on a video called Don't Open Heavy Tanks. So, you know, we come in, we just kill the Fernschwer because it's been lit up by the Chancellor with the exceptional optics. He's got no forward deployed AA. He's not open fighter to protect his forward deployment because he expects to get there first because he's airborne forward deployed and I'm not. But oh wait, here comes the funny scout rush, right? So it's super useful. And the Hell Arms, we kill another one, right? And in a 1v1 against this, I've got a pretty good chance of not dying, basically, because, you know, I've got 20% ECM, and he's basically just got 2 of my missile. So he would have to hit me twice to kill me. So I think he hit me once, and maybe I hit him once, I don't know. But I might have died, but even so, the idea was just to get everybody into position. If that dies, it's not a big deal. And so he opened heavy tank because he was expecting like a slow kind of grindy game, but we do the aggressive opener, send the Saxons around the side and stuff, and it's basically over before it started because he opened heavy tank. So I do actually have a separate guide called Don't Open Heavy Tanks. You see we're using the smoke, the MAG teams to give us a lot of, you know, width, right, just cover the whole width of the map. The heavy tank gets hit by Carl Gustav. It doesn't die, right? If that was a rifles, it would have died because it would be a lore 80 on that. Instead, he goes down to 1 HP and I miss him. But, I mean, he basically just lost from the opener. So you see how powerful the opener is with the MAG teams, the Jaguar rocket and or Phantom, the strikers round the side, and then you get into a position and you just flood it full of motorized rifles and terriers and javelins and dark fires, and you just get so many units. I mean, the units aren't amazing, but you just get so many units. Didn't spend too much time on that because, like I said, it was in a separate guide, but he's rank 80, he's had 13 or 1400 total games, and it was like a 3-to-1 KD. So you can really mess people up with that opener. Now let's see the next example. Right, so in this example, I cannot do the heli opener because my opponent's playing second UK and he has airborne forward deployed AA, which means we can't do it. So we're doing a ground-based opener, motorized scouts. We're expecting to get there second, right? This would actually be able to get to here. We're just sending a scimitar spyglass around the side, and the idea is just get there. Like, this is the more kind of typical 4th UK play, and the one after this is another kind of typical one. So you can't do the funny opener all the time. Like I said, if you got this in early access, you'd be able to do the funny opener, because not everybody will know about it yet. But by the time this video goes public, people will be aware of its presence. So I buy the Jaguar rocket, and I knew there was SAS here, but I figured I'd be able to not die if I just skimmed this, because I knew where they were, because I could see them. And I know the range, because I play the game a lot, so... Anyway, the Scimitar Spyglass, it's got the same armament as a Fox, except I've got 3 armor and he doesn't, so you'd expect me to win that. And I do, right, because I've got 3 armor and he doesn't, and the gun is the same. Anyway, this then... I smoked too late and I die, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so that was a bit silly of me. So don't feel like you can't send stuff around the side. But yeah, he does manage to get an air mobile Pioneer in here. And oh look, here's the 2 SAS versus literally 10, 11, 12, 13 units. So I could have smoked here. It is kind of hard to pay attention to everything. The Chancellor is getting shot. And yeah, like the tanks are not very good against the infantry. That's why you need the Romo. Because, but like, this fires at 10 rounds a minute, so, you know, the Chieftain just fires mega slowly for whatever reason. Yeah. So, speed it up a bit, right? I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and farm up. Losing Saxons, it is so hard to play this div. You've got to keep track of so many units, and they're all bad, so... yeah, but look, you catch him out and then you triple tank him, right? You can sort of blob to make things a bit easier, but you don't want them right next to each other. This guy was giving me a lot of problems. I sent a recon helo, but the SAS killed it. And then I killed the FITO, but I died for it. The FITO, though, I mean, it's 100 points or whatever, and 2 availability, so... And the rocket plane's 3. So I was willing to take that chance. And you see that, you know, I'm bringing all the same units, right? Saxons, motorized rifles, javelins, Milan 1s in the Milan 1 transport, the MAGs, the Sultan, and hopefully, as you watch this, you're getting a feel for it. But you need to play the div, right? If you actually properly want to learn, you need to play it. Like, basically, like, there's 2 halves of it. The first half is watching this extremely long video, right? That will give you all the information you need, but then if you actually want to get good, you'd have to try and put it into practice. You need the practice. You can't just skip that, right? The information's very necessary. I mean, I've had a lot of compliments about this series, even though they don't get that great views. The people it's useful to, it is very useful to them, because, like, if you want to learn a new div, this is the best way of doing it. So you see they've all got smoke, but this one I think the smoke had run out, and you see we're just kind of blobbing up. I mean, obviously you don't want them all on top of each other, but the idea is, yeah, I want them all shoot. Like, this should obviously be a bit closer, but yeah, we got more AVRE 105s here, like quite a few more. Could probably use a couple extra Mott rifles. And the SAS got pushed back because the Mott rifles... I mean, in a 1v1 the SAS would win, but the Mott rifles have all the support. And, you know, so he's got a Challenger and just fire 10 Guerrillian strikers at him until he goes away. Yeah. And you see, like, we've pushed this back. Like, just look how many units there are, but like, honestly, I can't stress this enough. If you're not good at the game, you shouldn't play this div, because you need all of your units engaged simultaneously all the time in order for this div to work. It reminds me the most of a div like Third Armoured, except without the heavy tanks. But it's a similar kind of game strategy, where you've got to buy all this stuff and you've just got to have it constantly in combat all the time, all the time, all the time. And if that means you got to blob a little bit, so be it. I mean, you do want to be advancing in across a sort of relatively narrow front, because the Darkfires don't have the range and the Phantoms don't have the range. Your fighters aren't that good, so you do have to advance across a narrow channel to make it so the AA's working out. And you just got to remember to take your time with it. Everybody's got smoke, so you should theoretically not lose that many units. Sadly, it's easier said than done, given how bad the units are. So that was a mistake. I guess he like saw me, or I'm not sure how. Maybe, yeah, oh, okay. Yeah, well, that explains that. So I did end up having a few issues here, but you see, you know, the striker, it's actually fired all 10 of the swing fires. We got both of the arty pieces out now. You do have to constantly move them around, but... the Lynx rockets, I do find somewhat difficult to deal with, but he lands and... and look, I'm buying all the strikers. I'm buying all the strikers. So he gets the same plane as me. So he has a similar kind of problem in that regard. Basically, once the SAS run out, 2nd UK has very bad AA, but the SAS have to run out first. Whereas 4th UK gets, so the Darkfire is better than the B1. It does cost more. You do have to pay for it. But the Darkfire, I think, has got like a little bit more range. Actually, it doesn't look that different, but... And so you see, you know, Mott rifles plus AVRE, and we're using the Recon Helo to see, and we've got the strikers with it. So he's smoking me up, so I'm just... I mean, I was shooting at the Challenger, but eventually I start shooting at the smoke mortars, because I know that he doesn't have self-propelled smoke mortars, whereas I do. I need to get a new chair, man. My chair's got like a slight tilt like that, so I just sort of slowly slide off it, so I have to keep sitting back up in my chair. It's obviously not a big deal, but... Anyway, Mott rifles versus 2 SAS, and they're holding their own. I mean, they will eventually lose, but... And now it's time for everybody and their nan to shoot at the SAS, but sadly we've taken many losses. And, you know, it's hard to play. It's a very, very hard div to play. Yeah. So... You know, another one, right? And so I figured with those being so low, I would kill one with the rocket and then they wouldn't be able to kill me, but that was just stupid of me. So the attrition cuts both ways, basically, right? So it's a lot easier for you to lose your units because they aren't as good. You just get more of them. And you see, he's actually gone for the artillery that we spoke about, because 2nd UK gets it as well. But you'll notice, because he's bought these, all of a sudden, whoa, like each rank is 9, so 9 times 4 plus 2, right? So it's 38 units, and he's got 19, including 2 empty trucks. Like, keep in mind the Saxons can actually shoot. And so that's because, for starters, my units are cheaper. My units are cheaper. But it's because he's bought 2 minutes worth of arty, right? So if you look at something like a Mott rifles, I can get, including the transport, is 70, right? So let's be fair. But you get 2 units for that. So 4 units for 140, right? 6 units for 210. So this is 6 of my units. It's more, right? This is 6 of my units, more or less. That's insane. So that's 12 of my units, and then all of a sudden, whoa, so all of a sudden it makes sense where all of this came from. So that's why I don't bring it, because instead you could get 3 Mott rifles and 3 Saxons, whereas this is 2 Mott rifles and 2 Saxons, or whatever. It's actually less. No, no, 140, because you got to keep the transport with it, yeah. 2 Mott rifles and 2 Saxons. Or 4 for the whole thing. Whereas this is 3 for 1 or 6 for 2. Which is 12 units. So at this point, you can sort of see what's going on here. You know, it's kind of hard to keep everybody moving. Like I said, you got to have had enough sleep. But the idea is just everybody fights, nobody quits. That's a line off Broken Arrow. And you get the Hell Arms in, and you just do. And we're taking losses. He's got 1 challenger, we've got 4 tanks, and ATGMs are also helping, and you know it's the perfect. And then we get a bailed out crit, which one-shots us on our Chieftain Mark 9, or whatever the hell that was. It was a crit of some description, but the idea is just, how fast can you shoot? So he buys an FI-TO because that can one-shot these. 2 armor stuff it can one-shot. So we're getting the javelins up. You got to keep the AA handy. Like, I should have had a tracked rapier, really, because that can actually move up a lot faster than a javelin, right? Everybody's got to stop here. They've all got smoke, so you can just pop the smoke. But yeah, this will one-shot a chieftain. Thankfully it missed that time, but okay. That suppression coming in handy there. Anyway, so he's trying something here, and this is what the planes are actually for, by the way. It's your panic button for CVs and stuff, or just during the push if you know all the enemy AA is dead, you can use it. You don't want to be buying too many planes. And it's like, okay, so he's done a cool push here, but like, look at how many units I have. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I need to reinforce. Look how many units I can bring. And the transports, they do stuff, right? The Spartan is in Milan too. The Saxons have smoke and an MMG on them. They can actually do stuff. So you can rapidly reinforce points, or relatively rapidly, and look at this. Like, I mean, obviously, don't really want these ahead of the tanks because they can't shoot things like this. But so, at this point, it's basically Jova, right? So we'll just speed it up a little bit. And then we'll move on to the what I think is the last example, which is a really good one. It shows the weaknesses of the division very well. So yeah, the RT, but like, just so many units, so many units, so many units, so many units. So it's a fun div. It's just very challenging to play, and it's not actually that good. So anyway, the final example is the best. Right, so I wanted to really hammer home some of the weaknesses of the division. And yeah, it's really weak against divs that, like, because this is quite a narrow map. It's weak against divs that get good AA like Cubs, and get, you know, heavy tanks. If I mean, if they get heavy tanks and they also get other stuff. So you see the double Jaguar rocket opener there because it is an ASF. So this guy, you know, he's only got like a couple bad missiles left, and then he just like hits me 3 times in a row because he's just so good at the game. Anyway, so we got an Su-25 Mi-8 MiG-23 double opener. I should have unloaded here. So you see my openers basically failed because of this. I mean, that fighter thing was pretty dumb. Double rocket plane, one of them probably should have been a fighter, and then maybe it would have gone better for me. Incidentally, I've got no ground-based AA. But basically, against divs like 39 wide, this div is super weak, because he gets BMP-1s, and BMP-2s, which are good against your trash spam. And, I think, yeah, we did get that. And he gets the heavy tanks. So in a prolonged engagement, you do start to struggle a lot, because I basically just can't kill this. So we do, you know, we do a little bit of going around the side, and that's all good. So we got a javelin there. And yeah, so we dropped off some scouts, and then this just killed it. So the Sultan here died, I think, to a Metis, because it came up through here. I'm trying to smoke off my scimitar. Like, the javelin basically fired, missed, and then got killed by the plane. So that's cool. Yeah. So yeah, very tough matchup for me. We are on the good side, but as you notice, it's all blue. It's all blue. And we're just missing this guy with everything because we're so bad at the game. Anyway, he buys Gvozdikas, which is interesting. He's actually aiming that at the wrong place, but... So yeah, he's not got any cubs out yet, which is quite surprising. But you see that, like, so this basically just doesn't die for the whole game. So we're going to speed this up a bit. So I do try and get around him, because if he's swinging heavy tanks, you do have to kind of go around those. It's very hard to kill him. The other thing is you can just smoke him for the whole game, right? Now, something really weird happens here. I hide this in this corner, and he finds it. I don't know how. I mean, it's just be luck or something. So, yeah, we're using the smoke mortar and so on. We got the assault pioneers. But yeah, he's killing all the small teams with the Gvozdika. So like, we're losing a lot of stuff here. Like, look at all the blue that's dying. Like, we just lost a Jaguar and a Phantom to the enemy jet, which got out. Yeah, this is a really rough game. Like, you do really struggle against divs like this. And like 79Y, you're basically useless against 79Y, 4th Dutch. Most divs in the game are better than 4th UK. But against Leopard 1 divs, I think you've got a pretty decent chance, because like the strikers just kill them all. And all the ATGMs tend to kill the Leopard 1s quite well. Against T-72s, T-80s, M1A1s, base M1s... What else? 1st UK. It's a tough gig, right? So, but yeah, we are on the good side, right? We got a 300-point lead, but I just can't kill this, really. And like, yeah, it's really tough. And for some reason, he's got like 5 howitzers, so ends up being like, if this was a wider map, we'd have more of a chance because I could go around. But yeah, I hid this here, and he ended up finding it. I guess, yeah, whatever. He scouted appropriately. So, as you can see, you can like load stuff back into Saxons and stuff like that. The strikers aren't too slow, so they're pretty fast, so you can use them. But yeah, in this kind of environment, it would obviously be better to have the 175mm self-propelled guns, because it's literally just he's just going to sit there for 10 years and what have you. Gvozdikas are useless. If he'd fired at me with 2 Akatsias, this would be dead. So, I played against this guy a few times. I didn't see these again, so... He plays a lot of 39Y, incidentally. Like, every time I've seen him except once, he's been on 39Y. And when he wasn't playing 39Y, I just completely steamrolled him. And then I found him again, and whoa, he was playing 39Y again, so... Like, the next game, so we just went back to it, right? Tried something new, didn't work out. So look, you can send the Terriers forwards, right? And you see, we're building up the blob, but like, I just can't kill his units. Really struggling to kill his units. And he has artillery superiority. MTLB doesn't... Oh yeah, this is something else he was doing. He was using an EW plane with double Su-24s. And because of these have so little range, anyway, they just never seem to be able to target this. And look, I'm being jammed, so I have less accuracy. Apparently I have 35... Oh, that's because that's been suppressed by artillery fire. Apparently I have 56% accuracy because I'm jammed down from, like, 80 or something. 70 maybe. So this actually ends up being really good, because whenever I mass enough units, he just does that. But despite that, we bash on regardless. Unable to kill the T-80 BVs, taking heavy losses. Getting arty-partied. Like, it's a lot of arty. But yeah, if he'd gone 4 Akatsias, it would have been better for him. So we do get in, but we just can't stick about, because we just immediately get hit by all the arty. He's moving it as well, so I can't counter-battery it. So we got to pull this back, and so he shows up through the thing, and we just nail him with the many tanks. Well, you can see the difference between this and the game versus not MJ Blair. Like, I'm on the same side. I'm sort of doing something similar, but you see how much worse it's going for me? Because Milan 1s I can kill. Anyway, he flies over the dark fires, and I have to move him because I know he's got 5 artillery pieces. We got 3 Darkfires here, so that's all good. Sadly, I sold the transport for this one and this one, apparently. Like I said, if you've not had enough sleep, don't play this div. So we gotta keep... Oh, there's 4 Darkfires, actually. I've got all 4 of them. So that's how it died. After what he did with that bombing wave, I figured, well, that's gonna happen again. Every 4 minutes until the end of the game, so better get ready. So we're buying lots and lots of AA. He's going on the scouts there. So yeah, we do try moving up here. I think he brings a healer or something. I end up making some really killer mistakes towards the end of this game that really messed me up. So keep watching. But yeah, if you made it, I mean, obviously after this there'll be a summary. But yeah, these things, they take a long time. So yeah, we get in with lots of infantry, but he's got big arty superiority, right? So let's keep getting arty. So here he is again. And this time it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planes versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 AA pieces. But you don't have cubs or anything, so you are at a disadvantage. So we get the cluster 1. We lose the chieftain. We also have a plane out, right? We moved the artillery. He killed a Darkfire. I believe this one gets out. No, okay, so we actually won that engagement, right? So we lost a Darkfire and a Chieftain, but we killed 3 planes. But those planes are too cheap, basically. They're like the British Tornadoes, except better. Because they drop from, like, further away, it feels. And they cost, like, 30 points less each. Like, the cluster one's 215. It's ridiculous. So I can see why he's playing 39Y all the time. I mean, right now, it's actually quite strong because of those bombers. Like, I've been playing it myself since this was the game that inspired me. When he did that, I was like, wow. Because he's, like, ranked 5 or something. He's bringing EW planes. I was like, well, that's interesting. So yeah, we just have to constantly move around because of the arty. And, you know, we tried falling back here, but... all he's got to do is just kind of sit there and buy T80 BVs and BMP2s, and we can't go around it. Like, it's, and we can't really kill his stuff. Like, BMP2 I guess we could kill, but the T80 BVs I haven't managed to kill a single one, and it's been 20 minutes. Because, well, how do I kill it? So I saw him go in there. It's like I did a lot of missing. And I got this round the back, but I was saving it. I don't know what I was saving it for. I'm pretty sure I don't do anything with this for the rest of the game. But yeah, the idea is keep smoking. But he's playing the map properly. If you're on this side, you want to build up here, and you just want to take trades for like 10-20 minutes. It's almost like everybody watches my videos or something. So, because I've spoken about this a lot. If you're on the bad side, this is how you do it. And you see it's working. I'm just losing all my guys. And I'm not really killing any of his guys, so it's pretty rough. So yeah, we're trying to get back in, but it's tough. I mean, I gotta keep listening to that artillery impact sound. It's very taxing on the mind. So you see, like, even the... wow, it's got more pen, it's got more pen, it's got more pen. It still doesn't one-shot it, so... wow. So yeah, the M60s are better. Generally, you know, if you want a div that's similar to this but not dog, play like T72 div. Lots of the pack divs are like this. Or you can play 8th US because it gets the M60s and it gets loads of infantry, and it doesn't have IFVs, right? It doesn't get these AVRE 105s, but it gets the CEV. You see, really, the only way I can try and kill these is with arty. Sadly, that last volley there just missed a little bit, so we didn't actually kill him. So, yeah, we've got the big blob, but to what end? Like, I just keep losing people. So he is trying to put, like, he's only got 12 minutes left, so he's got to do something at some point. And I end up making some really killer mistakes here. So you'll notice he's got fewer planes left after what happened last time. I gotta constantly move these things every time they shoot because he keeps artying them. Like that. So, oh yeah, I remember this one. So the EW plane reveals it and it didn't fire. So I was like, this didn't fire, so he didn't see it. But no, he saw it with the EW plane. So I end up losing this one. And you see, you know, we're trying to deal with these, but I literally just can't kill him. And then I get bailed out. I mean, what can I say? I'm just so bad at the game. So yeah, he flies over that. I could have unloaded this and got a shot off, but yeah, we lose one of the dark fires, and we lost one here, so we've only got 2 left. Still got, like, more tracked rapiers we can buy. I'm pretty sure I've still got fighters and so on. But yeah, as you can see, I've got all these units, and they're not really useful for anything. I just can't kill his guys. And if I get into a position where my tanks are beating his tanks, he can reverse faster than I can go forward, so... Yeah, you really don't really want to... I mean, this is a flavor div. It's a challenge div. It's not a competitively viable division. If you lose to it, you're just sort of mega retarded, basically. Anyway, so he sends this in, right, and he kills a Mark 9 chieftain. This died to something else, right? So he kills... how many tanks I have? So he does kill Mark 9 chieftain, and then he kills a Romor. So that's, you know, 130 plus 90 is 220 points. So actually, this one does pay for itself. So yeah, we do end up getting, as you can see, I've still got the fires. This comes a little bit too far away there, actually. Anyway, so this I just forgot about. Like I said, don't play this while you're tired. So I just sent this out, and it just dies. And it's like... I mean, I get an SU-27, it doesn't matter. This ended up being a really big issue towards the end of the game. So as you can see, he's well aware of the fact that I literally just can't kill these units. So, yeah, we're trying to get him, but I just can't kill him. I mean, I'm just doing 1 damage with everything. And this VP ends up causing me a lot of problems. Simmerman, or it might be Schminsky, but anyway. So I send over the CV. And it gets one-shot side shot by this. So that's a big problem. But yeah, we are killing his planes, at least. Yeah, and this is like where the rifles come in handy, right? So this is a good bombing run. This is what it should be for. 2 T-80 BVs, you know, 560 points, right? In exchange for 265, so basically doubled our utility there. He should have had more cubs up, really. I mean, he's had the time to buy them. So we know he's going to be coming for this at some point, so we're putting the ATGMs here and the chieftains, and I've got a hell arm there as well, and we've got, you know, infantry and so on. But yeah, losing the CV to a side shot is a really big problem. I sure hope that doesn't happen again. So he does use that bomber again, the really hard to kill one. And then yeah, I just missed that or something. So I cap this and then I see these coming in. So I'm coming back over here. And then, like, so this is actually my smoke to get the terriers in. Like, so in these longer games, the terriers end up being a proper lifesaver, so don't take them out of your deck. Anyway, he's being a little bit too hasty here, and it's making wasty. But the MCT got one shot by the T-80BV at max range, because it's got 19 pen or whatever. And, yeah, we're trying to get in there. Is EW plane still up to spot the dark fires, although I don't think it spots them if they're empty. Anyway, you see the power of 10 Guerrillian light tanks at killing is, no, they're actually very heavy. So, yeah, Simmerman's back. These end up being such a big issue for me. So we're still ahead on the points, but he's side-shotting everybody again. So I send this back over here, and lo and behold, The same thing happens on the same road. I'm losing all my units. Honestly, at this point in the game, I'm like, I've won. He should resign. And he obviously had other plans. It is funny, actually. I've played against him a lot of times. If I win, he doesn't say anything, he just quits. If he wins, I say GG, he says GG back. So, there's quite a lot of people like that in this community. They only say GG if they win. But what can you do, eh? I wonder which way round it will be this time. Anyway, so he gets in here, and I spoke about the rifles, right, with the Lore 80s. So we get in with the Lore 80 there. We got a lot of ATGMs, but they're out of ammo, because if you recall, I lost some supply to bombers and stuff, so... But yeah, if I hadn't lost those 2 chieftains to side shots, this wouldn't really be happening, because I'd have a chieftain in here. And this would be, you know, capped, although I suppose it'd be contested. It gets better, don't worry. So he's coming through here. We got the chieftain. And yeah, because of the low fire rate. So I'm just losing all my guys. Like I said, I just wasn't really paying attention anymore. Anyway, so the smoke fades here. And yeah, so he just one-shots me from full HP. Like, it must have been a side shot, but kind of looked like it wasn't. But what can I say? So we lost that zone as well. Yeah. So he's coming in. He's got a minute left. The Milan 2 misses the ATGM thing. You know, I mean, what can I say? I'm just very bad. Just very bad. This I could have smoked with. Yeah. So, pretty sure I see this. Yeah, so I blow this up with the Phantom. And then this guy has one chance to save the game. He's coming towards you, bro. You're gonna get him. Don't worry. Whoa. Actually, wouldn't have killed it anyway. Would have had to hit it twice. Yeah. So, there he is. We don't have a bomber left. He did get in here. And then he runs out of time. So what can I say? As you can see, the div is really quite weak against these things. 39Y in particular. So he's ranked 15. It's gone down a bit since that game. And he plays a lot of 39Y. So yeah, I mean, let's do the summary, right? Overall, the div is really quite weak compared to just so many 1v1 divs. Like, whenever anybody describes it, they're like, oh, it's not as weak as people think. They don't say it's good. Or unless they're retarded. But generally, the div is quite weak. But there are advantages you have. You can do the funny opener with the Jaguar rocket, the Gazelles, and maybe a Phantom, and a bunch of MMG teams, right? And then, because if you can take that ground early, then you can just flood it with all these ATGMs. Like, you get a lot of ATGMs. The AVRE 105's nice. Mott rifles are pretty decent for the price. It's all good, really. Well, it's not really. It's very bad. If you want a more competitive version of this division, I'd play First UK, because it also gets forward deployment, and it gets better fighters, and it gets better bombers, although they're a bit more expensive. And it gets airborne forward deployment, and it gets ground surveillance radar, right? And it gets and it gets IFVs, and it gets M109s, which are useful. Yeah, what can I say? I mean, it's a flavor div. I do have a guide to First UK on the channel, and also HDR is like similarly flavorful, but better. So, what can I say? I mean, it is what it is. Some divs are weaker than others, and this is one of the weakest in the game. I'd say bottom 10 for sure. Have a lovely day, and do check out the other videos, etc., etc. Oh, I forgot to mention, there's a poll which you can fill out, and then I won't listen to it. It's for which guide you want next.